career that you want to end up at, then you don't have to keep jumping hurdles on a path that you don't really like and end up complaining about every Monday that you have to wake up and go to work. But rather than that, you can take, I am going to draw it in green color because that's your favorite one, let's say. Now you can take the path heading towards your favorite destination, right? So that's where we want to do, right? So otherwise, we end up having a very disappointed young population, largely because the young population don't manage to get control of their own life, right? So that is why I have mentioned here, you are your own savior. Tama hisata tama atamaya sevanalla, right? So you have to remember that. So it's very important that there will be people helping you along your journey, right? So just like Dr. Shakila, who has helped me a lot in my journey, right? Just like I have helped any other students in my journey. And then just like our family members, your parents, your grandparents, uncle, aunties, if you are married, your wife, if you are a girl and married, your husband, all these people help you to get there. But only thing is, you are your own savior, right? Unless you decide that you want to go in a certain direction, until you have taken prompt action to get to that destination, you cannot save yourself. That's very, very important, right? So therefore, now you should have started it by the time you turned 18, right? Because you are adults since 18. You know, the privileges that you get when you are an adult, you started getting them all. You get the chance to decide the president of the country. You get the chance to decide who will represent you in the parliament, right? You get the chance to get married if you wish to, right? So all these things, now you as adults, you have been given those privileges. Always remember, with the privileges comes responsibilities. Okay, so therefore now you are responsible. What you and I got from the government system is a scholarship to study a degree. So if you are in a developed country, I'm sure like a lot of you plan to get the degree and go to a developed country so that your students will get a better education. And those students, if they will have to perform really well to get a free of charge degree, right? So in that case, it's all about a scholarship, right? So in a lot of those countries, there are specific conditions attached to that, right? When you are joining the university as a result of government budget, you have to finish the degree within a certain time period. You have to maintain your grades. A lot of conditions are there. So in that way, you have to make sure that now that you are an adult, you have to be responsible about your actions and then save yourself. Okay. Don't wait any unseen forces to come and save you. It will not happen. Until you take your own action, nothing will happen. Okay. There will be some situations where out of compassion, pau kiela, your parents will save you. And to a certain extent, your friends will pull you with them. But there comes a time that you have to act on your own, right? So that is very important. And then second point I want to bring is, it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens. You know, like a lot of our youth have this issue. They would complain to everything, right? So you would complain about everything, the transportation, the internet signals, etc., etc., etc. But in the meantime, using the same resources, there are people who actually achieved things. Okay, to be honest, I am also not happy about my internet connection. But in the meantime, there are people who manage to make more productive outcomes using the same internet connection. I'm using the SLT fiber line, and then if there are so many other people using the same SLT fiber line, they are getting so much of productive outputs. So now if I am sitting here complaining that my video quality is bad, my internet is slowing down, it cannot work automatically, right? So I have to somehow ensure that I log in and deliver lectures, right? So in your day-to-day life, if your work is related to lecturing, that is what helps you get paid. So you have to work for it, right? So therefore, it's not what happens to you, right? So what happens to you practically happens to a lot of people. Very few people will face certain unfortunate situations. But the thing is, it's all about how you will take action to overcome that. Okay. So I can show you a video about like these people who have beaten the odds. It's known as a beating the odds or like challenging the odds, challenging the challenges. That is what we have to do. Okay. So you might have different academic levels by now. Some of you have like continuously A plus, A plus, A plus, maybe A pluses and A's. Some of you have A plus, A and B plus. Some of you have C, C plus D. I have been in all of that. In the early part of the university life, I had C, C plus, and then later my grades improved. Why? I told you. Around the level 2 at the beginning of the second year, I figured out what I want in my life and I started working for it. And as a result of that, I was more determined and I was more driven by the direction. And then within the next 2.5 years, I improved my GPA to the level that I wanted to get the second class upper. So targeted and work, right? So it works. It always about how you react to what happens, right? So we have to take appropriate reactions because practically there are like 60 plus, now 76 in the group. Okay. Let's say other than the lecturers, maybe it's 70 or 73. All of you are very unlikely that you have a certain mental or physical condition stopping you from achieving things, right? But my personal observation is that some of the students at universities who had some of the mental and physical challenges, they work harder than we do, right? Because we, in the sense, people who did not have a mental or a physical challenge. Why? Because those people having a challenge, they know that they have to do that extra bit in order to keep up with the whole society, right? We are not a very kind society in that way, right? We have not seen enough of support given to the people with mental and physical difficulties, challenges. So they are working harder, right? So what I'm inviting you is take your action and make right kind of reactions, right? So when you see things not going the way that you like, if you think that this is not what you want, like let's say you are sitting through a certain subject, right? Then you have to take action. Another thing to tell you is when you are getting to university, you will never find all the subjects are what you want, right? So let's say, for example, I got into studying engineering degree, right? There are certain subjects I don't really like. But the thing is, when you are persevering, when you are working hard towards achieving a certain goal, be ready to work on things that you don't like as well. But among the things that you study, there can be 20 to 30% of things you really like. Maybe there are another 20 to 30% that you really don't like. And there's the in between part you can manage somehow. So this is life, right? So take that as it is and enjoy what you love doing, right? So a lot of like when I was doing the degree, I loved the engineering syllabus has about 10% to 15% content coming from management subjects. I love that part. So I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it to the extent that I usually get A or A plus easily to these subjects. And then I end up being the one who can do a copy about this subject. Now, I grew that specialty and then I loved it. In the meantime, there are certain very hardcore technical subjects I did not like a lot, especially because I don't have the ability to sit and concentrate for too long. So, certain things, let's say operational research, I found it very difficult. But then again, I cannot stop. I cannot give up. I don't like operational research, so I'm going to give up the degree. That's going to be absolutely foolish. Something that a lot of our generation is spending like a savings for them from their family, like making money hard to pay for the degree, but we are getting it for free. I'm not going to quit that. There were many difficult subjects. Okay, so it's all about how you react. So when the subjects is getting difficult, I would just go and ask from people who are good at it, try to read a book and do it, right? Somehow pass through the exams. From the second semester of second year onwards, I stopped getting what? See, all my results were more than C plus or B minus after the second semester of second year. Why? Determination, effort. I determined that I'm not going to continue getting C plus, and I put my effort to achieve what I want. So the subjects that I really loved, I pushed towards the A plus zone, right? So if there are management subjects, I told you 15% of the syllabus, A plus. In between subjects, A minus, B minus, that range. The subjects that I don't like, or otherwise I find it difficult to digest due to my personal nature, minimum B minus. Okay, so that kind of mentality change is absolutely necessary during the university days. That is academic part. But other than the academic part, you have to develop your soft skills part equally, right? That's why I told you in the beginning, a lot of people come with qualifications, but the HR managers are struggling to hire them because these people are not having the relevant soft skills supervisors, soft skills in them in order to perform those tasks. Now, another thing I want to share with you, if another person can do it, you can do it too. 95% of the things, right? There are certain things that will require a lot of inborn capability. Like, let's say, for example, music, art, right? Even art, actually, you can learn techniques. Please turn off the mics. Students, please turn off the mics. Who is the host here?
Dilini, can you mute him?
Dilini, in the settings, you can mute everyone and you can stop them like unmuting themselves. You can block unmuting.
Oh, okay.
When you go to participants, there is the option to mute all, right? And then see whether in the side there is a like few dots or something. When you click on it, you right. Okay, thank you, Dilini. Dilini, just keep on looking at the screen. If my mic is getting mute at any time, I want to put it back again. I will display a message on the screen so that you can put me back on the.
Okay, yeah? Sure.
Now, the students, be careful when you go to a job, you will have that problem. You will have a Zoom meeting and you are going to talk about something inappropriate without knowing that your mic is on. Right. So there's a question coming in, Milan or Milan. Thank you. What will be the best step after graduation? Let's discuss towards the end of the program, right? So towards the end of it, let's discuss it. First, I want to set the scene. We'll get the general understanding. So as I told you, there are many things that are learnable. Okay, so let's say, for example, you got the university placement to do mechanical engineering or mechanical technology, right? Now, while you are doing it, after 1 year of studying or 1.5 years of studying, you felt that, no, rather than mechanical engineering, I would like to do software engineering. About 25 years ago, someone did not get selected to computer engineering, which was very competitive, and you ended up only in mechanical or materials engineering, there were my friends who were very disappointed about whole thing, very disappointed about life, very disappointed about the system and everything. But another 5 years later, I know another guy. Around third year, he figured out he is not going to continue in his field of engineering, which was not related to computers. It was like construction related, right? He decided and he took action, and then he became an AutoCAD machine designer. Now he is very successful at it. So the lesson to take home is practically every skill that you want to learn nowadays is available on the internet for you to access and learn, especially the skills that are needed, or otherwise especially the skills that are in high demand by the industries, right? Let's say, for example, just because you got selected to civil engineering related field, right? I don't know exact name. It can be civil engineering, it can be construction technology or anything like that. These days, there is a lack of demand due to the economic crisis after COVID pandemic in Sri Lanka, and also economic crisis that is happening in several other countries. There is a lack of job for civil engineering or construction technology or etc. students. But the point is, in the meantime, there are many jobs in the field of IT. So now there is no one stopping you from learning IT. You are having the same amount of brains that your friends who went into IT faculty. You have the same amount of brains that your friends who went into a like certain engineering faculty. It's about lack of work. It's about lack of hard work. So take that action now, right? So it is very learnable. There are so many online web portals where you can very methodically learn a complete qualification. So let's say, for example, you want to become a mobile app developer. If you go to a website like LinkedIn Learning, right? So I hope you know that that is one of the best online learning websites ever. Now, if you go to one of these websites, LinkedIn Learning, etc., right? There are many other EDX, Coursera, Udemy, right? You name it, there are many. And there are a lot of very good Indian websites and YouTube channels also. So all you have to do is go and find what are the necessary knowledge levels you have to complete. Why I'm recommending LinkedIn Learning quite often, on LinkedIn Learning, there is a thing called the learning path, right? So let's say, for example, you can go and search uh, iOS app developer learning path. When you go into that, they have properly indicated these are the courses online you have to complete. And when you complete those courses, they guarantee that you can develop that app, right? I have not taken the iOS developer one. I have taken WordPress developer one, and I have taken some other like graphic design, etc. It is true because they have very specific instructions step by step. You can practice. They give workbooks, example document. So there are ways that you can learn high demand skills, right? So that is very important, high demand skills. So you have to challenge your destiny and go for high demand skills, right? So let's say when I did my A levels, my first degree, I got the opportunity to study only textile and clothing, but it did not stop me from studying computer programming. It did not stop me from learning graphic design. It did not stop me from doing web development. You can, right? It is learnable and it is very doable. So therefore, go through the degree that you got the opportunity. Don't give up the degree. It's a stupid thing, right? There are so many people who gave up the degree or otherwise like before the degrees came, like qualifications like NDT, there were some people who stopped it halfway. It is very sad. After about 15 years, they cannot get a promotion at their workplace. Why? They did not complete the degree. They did not complete the diploma. So they cannot be assessed for qualifications, right? So you have to learn like in Sri Lanka, and there is the Sri Lanka qualification framework. Each level by level, you have to proceed, right? For certain jobs you want to secure, you have to have a certain qualification level. If you go to the UK, I think Sri Lanka's work one is copied from the UK one. So you have to have that UK framework in order to you move on to the career, right? So therefore, work hard, right? Go out there and learn. And other thing is these websites like LinkedIn, you have to pay, but 1 month free. Okay, 1 month is free. That means the people in this lecture online today, I know 100% you have brain power, right? You have brain power, you have brains, right? So you have brains, you have very good brains. Use it. If you use your brain, within 1 month, you can complete a good skill area, right? A skill area that will allow you to earn income, right? So within 1 month, you can monthly cost. After that, you can pay from your income if you work for this, right? So therefore, it's very important. Don't waste your time on this nonsensical pyramid business and useless ways of collecting different people to join different organizations and all those things. It's only resulting in a loss in your life. Spend your time on internet, learn, right? Learn the skills that are helping you to secure an income so that you can use that money to learn further things, get better experience, and advance your career, right? And then fail fast, learn quick. Why do I say this? There is no one who does not fail. All of us fail. I am failing. Our head of the department will fail one thing. Our dean will fail one thing. Our vice chancellor will fail one thing. But just because they failed, did they stop? They worked hard, they worked continuously, right? You learn from the failure and you recover. Now you are not a failure. Okay. That's why I say fail fast, learn quick. If you search on YouTube about this, there are so many videos. Like if you are starting a business, if you are a startup, you have to do this. You have to fail fast and learn quick. And the last point to remember is evolve or perish, right? That means you have to change yourself, you have to modify yourself, you have to modify your behaviors continuously so that you will survive in the game, right? So for a fact, right, I mean, I never stayed in the comfort zone of my first degree because I knew that while it is one of the leading industries in the country, while it is actually still making good money, right, there is a risk that the textile and clothing industry will have a problem because the younger generation are not engaging as sewing machine operators. So the whole industry is surviving on the sewing machine operators. So the more of them are going to different jobs, when the more and more hotels are opening, some of the sewing machine operators go to hotel work rather than working at the garment factory. Now, I can foresee this. As a result of that, I evolve myself, right? So over the time, I every about 3 to 5 years, I am changing or I am leveling up my skill set. Okay, so 2008 I graduated. 2009, 10, 11 I worked on developing management skills. right? And then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I worked on developing my entrepreneurial skills, right? Uh, 12, 13, 14. In 2015, we established Cognito Asia Private Limited. The company that you heard Dilini saying that we are serving like 30 of the very good companies in Sri Lanka. So from that onwards, even within the company, I am upgrading my skill set continuously, right? Otherwise, it's impossible to survive. So therefore, I also want you to adopt this mindset. It's only one slide, right? If you use this slide, that is completely enough. There are about another 70 slides on the presentation. You don't even have to know the 70 slides. If you get this slide, get a screenshot, right? Take a screenshot. Search on Google about the things I told you within this slide. Your life will change. Okay, that is the importance of it. And I must give credit this one, learning to learn. Like when we started our studies at university, Professor T.A. Piesari, now retired, this is the most important thing he told us. He told whatever the things he is teaching in the lecture, you will forget by the level 4. That means end of 4th year. He was right. He was teaching thermodynamics. Obviously, I forgot, right? Our mechanical friends and all, they remember, but I forgot. But he told, and a lot of other things he told can be outdated. That is also true. When we started university, we were drawing using paper, these big rulers and pencils. By the 4th year, we were doing all the drawings using computers, right? So a lot of things are outdated. And therefore, he told us, you have to learn to learn. That is the fundamental. As a graduate, that's a difference between a graduate also. No? For a graduate, සිංහලෙන් කියනවනේ වචනේ දන්නවනේ විද්‍යාර්ථීන් කියලා කියනවනේ. අධ්‍යාපනය දකින දකින තැනින් දැනුම උකහා ගැනීමට හැකියාවක් තියෙන පිරිස. That is what we want as graduates. Okay? නැත්තම් මොනාහරි දෙන දෙයක් කටපාඩම් කළා ඒක ආපහු ලියන කට්ටිය ග්‍රැජුවේට් කරගෙන වැඩක් නැහැනේ. We want the graduates who can adapt, modify, learn, and upgrade themselves continuously. It's just like similar to if you have some money, you can either buy milk, right? With a certain amount of money, you can buy milk to a certain amount of time, or else you can buy a cow and a bull. ගවයෙකුයි එළදෙනකුයි ගන්න. Now what happens? Within a short time, few months, you will start getting milk. A milk එනකනුත් ගවයාගෙන් ගොම ලැබෙනවා, right? So you can use it as fertilizer, right? You can use the bull in order to pull a load in your cart. In that way, it's the difference between whether consuming or investing. So investing on yourself does not require that money. A lot of investment that you can do is free of charge, right? So that's why if you learn to learn, you will automatically do that investment. In that way, you don't have to pay and get things done in certain situations. And in the meantime, you increase your earning potential as a result of that also, right? So that is, it took 1 hour, right, out of the 2 hours given to me for one slide. Okay, 1 hour, one slide. But that's the most valuable slide that you are going to see in your career advancement. Okay, take a picture of this, print it and hang it on your wall. Still worth it. It will change your life. Okay, so let's watch a small video, and after that, let's continue to the next section.
I'm down here, face down, and I have no arms, no legs, it should be impossible for me to get back up. I mean, you go home and tie the legs and arms of your brothers and sisters and like push them down and see how long it's going to take them to get back up. You know what I mean? You know, you can tell them that you'll see them tomorrow. You know what I mean? But this is the thing. It should be impossible for me to get back up, but it's not. You see, I will try 100 times to get up, and if I fail 100 times, if I fail and I give up, do you think that I'm ever going to get up? No. But if I fail, I try again and again and again. For as long as I try, there's always that chance of getting up. Does that make sense? And it's not the end until you've given up. And just the fact that you're here should persuade you that you have another chance to get back up. There's still hope. I'm not here today to tell you that I understand your pain. I don't know how it feels to be abused. I don't know how it feels to feel, quote, fat and you've got an eating disorder. I don't know how it feels to have a broken home. I don't know how it feels. But I know how it feels to have a broken heart. And I know how it feels to be alone. And I want you to know that I found my strength in Jesus Christ, and you're going to find your strength in whatever you find it in. But I just want you to know that it's not the end. It matters how you're going to finish. Are you going to finish strong? And you will find that strength to get back up like this. How did I get from depressed to who I am today? Because I tell you, I was depressed. When I was age 8, I used to concentrate on the things I didn't have. I wish I had arms and legs, and I wish I could do this, but what can I do? You see, I have a choice, and that's what I want to talk about today, choices. I can either be angry for not having arms and legs or be thankful for my chicken drumstick. You see, I can still do a lot of things. At home, I can brush my teeth, comb my hair, get myself ready in the morning. And I'm traveling around the world. It's amazing. But I had to ask myself a couple questions. And the first question was really, who am I? Who am I? I'm Nick Vujicic, but who is that? And it's funny how the friends around you sort of determine who you are. You change yourself. You come to school. And everybody swore around me at high school, so I started swearing. Why? Because it's the cool thing to do. Everybody swears. So I don't want to be left out. And I want to be accepted, so I started swearing. You go to a party, everybody's drinking, so you drink. Why? Well, everybody else around me is doing a big deal. And you start losing yourself, and you start putting your security in temporary things. You start putting your happiness in things that won't last. You can get drunk all you like, but in the morning, you're going to be sober with a headache with the same problems. You want to be high the rest of your life on drugs? Everybody say, don't do drugs, don't do drugs. Well, why? Why do we even go there? It's either out of curiosity, peer pressure, or trying to escape reality. Basically, 3 things. That's why we go to drugs, sex, alcohol. Why do you do it? Because it feels good. Okay, that's how we're doing it. I mean, if you want something, you go get it. If you want to buy something, you save up money, you go get it. Why? Because that will make you happy. And we take these steps in the wrong direction that will actually take you away from your dreams. Oh, don't worry, Nick. Drugs and alcohol won't take me away from my dreams and my purpose and sex and all that. No. I tell you, it actually will. Because you go to a level of drinking and you go to a level of drugs and it's not enough. You'll find that out. And then you try something new. And then you'll also go to school and people will put you down and parents will tell you that you're a failure because you failed at a test. And you start believing the lies around you, saying that you're not good enough and no one's going to want you and you'll never ever do anything good in your life and you'll never ever, achieve the dreams and goals that you wish you had done or wish that you could do. And these steps take you closer That voice saying, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, and all you need is one more step to fall. So you have a choice to know which step you're going to take today.
अभी बहुत लंबे समय के बाद मैं वापस वॉक के लिए निकला हूँ।
Okay, thank you, Dilni. Right. So now you saw the video, right? I'm very sure you have seen this video or something like this. Why? Because about 10-15 years ago, the YouTube usage was not very common. So that we had to download this kind of videos and show to the students. But nowadays, it's not like that, right? You guys are having access to all these tools. And then while you're browsing internet also, there are so many motivation gurus and appachis and ammas and okkomalla innavana YouTube balare. So you can see all this morning motivation, entrepreneur motivation, you can see all of that, right? But the thing is, watching 100 YouTube motivation videos will not change your life. Okay. What actually change your life is taking your own action. That's something that you remember. Okay. Fine. So now the next few slides I'm going to jump through faster. With the right mindset, you have to prepare in order to take a long-term view of your career, right? Why is that? Because in a short-term view, you will have focus only on getting the internship and then the job. That is okay in terms of short-term achievement, but long-term, you have an issue because you end up disappointed after some time. Now imagine you want to go to Kataragam, right? මොකද කියන්නේ? දැන ගියොත් කතරගම නොදැන ගියොත් අතරමට. Now without asking someone about the route, and then nowadays you have Google Maps. No? Without at least looking at Google Maps, if you start your journey, you will reach the nearby destinations very easily. But there will be so many other destinations and situations that you are not prepared to face. Now, maybe when you are going in that direction, you will hear, right? There is a scarcity of clean drinking water. Therefore, stop at a supermarket at the previous town, buy some water bottles. That's what I do all the time when I'm traveling, right? So that kind of information research you have to do in your normal day-to-day journeys, right? So if you go to certain parts of the country, you know clean drinking water is not available. So you better buy water and keep it in your vehicle. Same way in your career also, you will have to prepare for potential pitfalls, potential difficulties, maybe something that you don't know now, maybe there are difficulties in the future. So plan in advance, that is going to be very helpful, right? So this is the overall breakdown of a long-term plan, right? So starting with the vision. Vision is like you have a direction and the destination. But you don't have everything, all the details about how are you going there, the specific steps you are going to take to get there, you don't have. Like let's say, for example, you want to end up becoming a professor, right? That's your vision, let's say. Now, if your vision is to become a professor, You don't have a full description of what are the qualifications required to complete in order to go do that and all those things. You don't have yet. What you have is you have the long-term view. It takes time, you will know. You know that it is taking effort, but you set your mind on it. And then secondly, you have to have a mission. That means the things that you do on a day-to-day basis in a purposeful manner. නැත්තම් things that you do ඔහෙ කරන්නම් වාලෙත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Just for the sake of doing. I draw a diagram in the beginning. You remember that jumping through the layers and layers, right? That also you can do. But in the meantime, if you have a mission, that means you purposefully do it. You want to become a professor, but you want to become a professor while being a lecturer who is promptly sharing all the knowledge gathered and gathering new knowledge or creating new knowledge, right? You just don't want to tick the boxes and become a professor, but you want to be a purposeful person. You have a mission, continue a journey of enlightening the lives of thousands of younger people by sharing the knowledge, skills, and helping them to upgrade their attitudes. And that is a mission. ප්‍රොෆෙසර් කෙනෙක් වෙන්න යනවා ගමනක්. හැබැයි ඒ යන්නේ නිකන් නෙවෙයි. යන ගමන් ඒ හරහා තමන්ටත් තමන්ගේ වටපිටාවටත් ධනාත්මක බලපෑමක්, ධනාත්මක දායකත්වයක් කරගෙනයි ඒ ගමන යන්නේ. And then objectives, you have to have objectives in the short to medium term basis. කෙටි හා මධ්‍යකාලීන වශයෙන්. Why? Because එක විභාගයක් ලියලා ප්‍රොෆෙසර් වෙන්න බෑනේ. You complete your bachelor's. You have to complete a MPhil or a PhD. If you go by MPhil, then after that a PhD, or otherwise you jump directly to a PhD. And then you will have to do publications and all the other requirements. Now, this is a long journey. In the long journey, you have to set specific objectives within the foreseeable future. Right now for you, you should have objectives related to completing the degree successfully. You should have objectives related to developing yourself for job interviews, and that is internships and jobs particularly, and maybe objectives related to maintaining your mental and physical well-being in order to become suitable enough to take up the next challenge. Because after completing the degree, you will go to a job, right? When you go to a job, they will not, what do you call, pet you. You are supposed to work. They will expect your contribution at workplace, right? So therefore, you have to prepare yourself in terms of specific objectives for the next 3 to 5 years. And then the goals are indicating what are the specific achievements you have to make in order to see whether you have reached that destination. Let's say, for example, one of the goals can be completing the degree with a second class upper division, completing the degree with first class degree, right? That is what? There is a specific goal that you are setting. Okay, so you can have very short-term goals also. That is also necessary, because why? To get the first class degree, in the upcoming semester, you have to have a specific target. In order to get a job that you like to continue doing, you have to ensure that you get an internship that you like to do, right? So in that way, you have to make sure that along the journey, you are setting specific goals. Okay, I'm very sure you have the level of intelligence to understand this. That's why I'm not going to draw pictures and graphically demonstrate it. By looking at the academic journey, you should be having the ability to apply the same model to a career journey. That is another thing that we learn from formal academic education. Yeah, in the education, especially the higher education, you are not expected to just replicate one thing that you learned here and just keep on replicating. You are expected to become knowledge creators, right? So how can you become a knowledge creator? That is by being able to apply one of the like one or more than one set of knowledge or the structures or the models into a different situation. Okay, just for your own reference, I'll tell you, there is a video where Jeff Bezos, the person who founded Amazon company, he says he became a business person, entrepreneur, as a result of a Sri Lankan person. Yeah. Can you please reply in the chat box? What's the name of that Sri Lankan person? If you have watched that video. Anyone who has watched the video, if you can't remember the name of the person, can you mention how did it happen? Why did Jeff Bezos get help from a Sri Lankan person? He talks about, in simple terms, I'm shortening the whole story. Jeff Bezos found very difficult to do a certain maths question at exam at the university, right? And he wanted to get help. Then some of his friends told, I think his name is Yasindra or Yasinta, right? Yasinta should know this. And he went to Yasinta's room, right? Then Yasinta immediately gave the answer. Okay. Then Jeff Bezos was shocked. Yasanta, his name is Yasanta. Hmm? Then Jeff Bezos was shocked. How did you manage to do that? You did not do any maths. I mapped the answer. I have seen a similar question before, and I mapped this question to that question so that I came up with the answer. That is a great learning point. Okay. Honestly, I am telling you, I cannot even do lot of differential equations or integrations or etc. I cannot do. But from that video, I learned that valuable point. We have to have that ability to map one model to another model, one situation to another situation. Okay, so that's why I mentioned you develop your mission objectives, goals in your academic life career. You have to use the same model, not the same thing, same model or the same framework to apply into your career development pathway. Okay, so that's what I want to do as a result of today's session, right? So once you finish, think about how are you going to do a long-term career planning for yourself, right? You can follow certain videos. I can actually send the links to Dr. Shakila. You can go through those things and establish your vision, mission, objectives, and goals, right? Vision and mission you can find on internet. And then I will specifically mention when you're setting the objectives, you have to make sure that you have the SMART framework of setting the objectives. Okay, if I have time, I will just show that also. Then once you do all of that, this one, within 2 years of graduation, now that one you have to have very clearly defined, right? Have a very strong, clear definition about the professional life that you want to be in, your family affairs, mind, body, relationships, etc. This one have a very firm, specific one, right? Clear one, written. Why? Because that is related to our next step. Because our next step is about going to secure a great internship. So when you want to do that, you have to have a clarity about what you want to get, right? Always remember that's also another very important thing. If you are not clear about what you want to get, it is difficult to get in. You know that story about Pahane Bhutya, right? The genie of the lamp. Those stories are actually, although entertaining stories, behind the scene, they are trying to teach you something. One of the valuable learnings that it tries to say is, if you don't know what you want, if you are not clear about what you want, if you are not confirmed what you want, the universe cannot give it to you. Okay. So therefore, in your side, you have to develop that level of clarity to achieve what you want, right? Once you do that, we will come into the next phase where you are going to become a marketer, right? Now you must be wondering, you are doing engineering or technology related degrees, and why should I become a marketer? All of us will have to become a marketer, right? Why? Because you have to market yourself, you have to promote yourself in a way that they recruit you. Okay. So practically, why what you do, right? So you have to look at yourself as a product. When you go to the job market, right? When you are looking for a job, you are actually setting up a business relationship with another company. You are becoming an employee. You are actually basically, you are giving things to the company, and then when the company is getting things from you, they are going to pay you, right? Now imagine you want to eat a lemon puff. What do you think? You are eating a lemon puff means you are going and buying it, eating, you pay money for that, right? Similarly, the companies are actually, they are getting work done from you. So now in that situation, you have to ensure that you are promoting yourself effectively in a way that they will pay and get you. So now, if you want to, like now, let's say you are going around a supermarket or anywhere. How about the companies who sell lemon puff or cream cracker or whatever? What do they do? What do they do in order to make sure they sell what they want to sell? They are throwing up advertisements everywhere, right? So on newspapers, TV, social media, right? One advertisement or the other will pop up all the time. So as a result of that, people will get impressed and decide to buy. The same way, you also will have to do advertisement. Now, what is the main advertisement you are going to show? In terms of getting a job opportunity, the main advertisement that you do is your CV, right? So having a CV is very important. Now, when it comes to making a CV, you can easily download the template from the internet and fill it and then send. So therefore, showing you the CV template is not my duty. My role is setting you the right mindset and showing you the logic behind the proper CV. So when you make a CV, remember that is the first impression you are making, right? So they have not seen your face. You are sending this by email. And then when they receive this by email, they read through, and as a result of that, it creates an impression. And you already know first impressions go a long way, right? And it helps the person to understand whether you are suitable enough to be contacted for the interviews. That is the fundamental purpose that you want. CV is helping you to jump a hurdle. පළවෙනි බාධකය පැනගන්න තමයි CV එක වාට ඕනේ. If they see the CV and notice that you have the knowledge, skills, attitudes, experience needed to do the job, they will call you. So now what is your role here? Your role here is to ensure that you write a CV in a way that person planning to recruit you is getting impressed and giving you an interview opportunity. That is the primary goal that you have to set. එහෙම නැතුව ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකේ තියෙන ලස්සනම CV ටෙම්ප්ලේට් එක අරගෙන ඒකට ලස්සනම ෆොන්ට් උයි කලර්ස් උයි දාලා ඒක සෙන්ඩ් කරලා දාන එක නෙවෙයි ඔයාගේ ඔබ්ජෙක්ටිව්. ඒක ඔයාගේ අතුරු ඵලයක් පමණයි. ඔයාගේ ඔබ්ජෙක්ටිව් එක මේ CV එක බලන මනුස්සයාට දැඩි අවශ්‍යතාවයක් ඇති කරන්න ඕනේ ඔයාව ඉන්ටර්විව් එකට ගෙන්නන්න. That's your part. Okay, so therefore never start the journey with downloading a template and filling. ඒක එතනින් නෙවෙයි පටන් ගන්න ඕනේ. There are many things that you have to do before that. As a person, becoming clear about your goals and achievements, and then reflecting about your past success stories. What have you done so far? What have you achieved so far? Define specifically. And then looking at, based on what you have done in the past and based on what you want to do in the future, identify who are the companies that are likely to give that opportunity for you. That is when you have the right connection between the employee and the employer. That is very, very important, because otherwise what happens is we have seen people are spamming the CVs. Now, because of the internet age, you know the word, right? Spamming. Okay. ඔහේ දානවා. හැම කම්පැනියටම එකම ටෙම්ප්ලේට් එකකින් තියෙන එකම විස්තරේ ආය ඔහේ දදා යනවා. HR people don't read this kind of CVs. If it is a printed CV, it will fly in the air. If it is a email CV, that CV will be mostly unread for the next 5 months, and it is getting deleted when the inbox is full. Okay, so therefore have a clear plan, right? Identify what you want to do in the next 2 years. According to that, find what are the companies offering that kind of opportunities, and according to that, line up your past experience, your passion, your personal knowledge, skills, attitude, experience, everything, and then send it to a company. And that should be, I told you, it should be your marketing material. So therefore, just a list of it is not sufficient. You have to make sure that it is modified according to the job advertisement out there. You have to match that. According to that, you have to show that each of those knowledge, skills, and attitudes you have. Let's say, for example, BMO is hiring a trainee automobile engineer. Go through the advertisement very well. In the advertisement, if they have not given it, talk to some of your seniors and get an idea about what are they expecting from a trainee automobile engineer. That expectations you have to note down. According to that, you have to indicate them in the CV. Let's say for example, like this. One of the expectations, imagine having NVQ level 3 or equivalent mechanical engineering or automobile engineering knowledge. Now, how are you going to prove that you have it? You can mention that, although I don't have the NVQ, I have the university degree 2 years completed or 2.5 years completed. And then you can mention in your CV නිකම් අර Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Technology Kelaniya නැතුව. Below that, you mention specific things you have done related to the job you are applying. For the trainee automobile engineer, maybe you have studied about, let's say, I don't know everything about automobile, maybe about the motors, maybe about the vehicle auto electrical systems, maybe about the electronic controllers or circuits that are used in the cars and all. You mention specifically that you know about them. You are applying for a trainee position, no? So they are not expecting you to do everything, but having ability to do some things is important for them. So therefore, mention certain things that you can do within that scope. right? And then there will be more requirements in that job advertisement, or otherwise your senior friends who are working in that company, they will give you some idea. Then maybe they will expect you to become a team worker. Now every job advertisement saying "Danang wale dano," just for the sake. Team working attitude with the what do you call, a great team worker with the positive attitude is preferred. එතකොට අපි දාන්නම් වල එයාලා දැම්මට අපිත් දාන්න ඕනේ. You have to put specific examples about how you have been a successful team member, how you have been a successful team leader. Mention specifically, I have successfully participated in a certain competition, give the name of the competition, and we achieved this particular level, through which I learned what great teamwork means. At the university, I am a member of this particular team. My responsibilities are so and so. During this time, I have achieved this and that. මෙන්න මෙහෙම එන්න ඕනේ. Okay. නැත්තම් CV එක ගත්තම member of photography club, member of environmental club, member of Sinhala Buddhist club, member of Hindu club, ඔක්කොම club වල member. ඇයි? අර ඉන්ටර්විව් එකට කලින් අයියලා ඇවිල්ලා කිව්වනේ මල්ලි ඔය සොසයිටි වල එහෙම හිටපු ඒ වගේ ඒවා දාන්න ඕනේ CV එකේ කියලා. දැම්මා. ඔක්කොම. බොරුත් දාන්න. What happens? Sometimes your interviewer had been a president of that club some time ago. It has happened in the university. That's what I'm telling. One of the fellows put like being a secretary or something at the nature club. Interview කරන්න ආවෙත් කලින් හිටපු president. And now he is asking cross questions about the club. හරස් ප්‍රශ්න. The applicant cannot answer. එතනින්ම ඉවරනේ. So therefore, you can exaggerate a little bit. It is done everywhere, but don't lie on the CV per se, right? So you have to know what you're putting in the CV, right? Important point is show by real examples that you have achieved those knowledge, skills, attitudes, experience. All those 4 categories indicate throughout your CV. Putting O-level results, A-level results, Shishatta results, people don't care. By the time you have a degree, people know that you have completed your A-levels. Otherwise, you are not getting into university. So don't put all those details, unnecessary. I have seen CVs with O-level Samajadhyana or Buddhism results. Why? It's not absolutely necessary. Just drop O-levels completely. A-levels, if you wish, you can put like 3 lines or 2 lines. GC A-level 2015, within brackets, physics, chemistry, and mathematics. That's enough. But show that you have been an exemplary university student during the last 2 years. That's what matters. They don't want a baba. After A-level baba anyway. Now they want an adult. Okay. So show that you have knowledge, skills, attitudes, and experience. Now, with regards to CV template, I know young people are using fancy templates. It's okay, as long as you cover the most important things that are needed by the interviewer or the human resource people who are recruiting you, right? Within which name, email, phone number. Maximum 2 lines in the CV. Top line, CV dash your name. Name කිව්වම සද්දවිත්ත පලහපතර රාජපක්ෂලාගේ එහෙම නෑ. එහෙම නෙමෙයි. CV dash Sam Karandagoda. 1 line. The next line. email address and phone number. Hey, tapal kala liyung ewan nede. Email address and phone number. Done. Put a professional looking email address. Very important. Various funny email address you make in the first year of your university, keep it for your personal network. Have a professional looking email address. It can be samkarandagoda@gmail.com. Similar to that, you can create an email address. And then rest of the sections, based on what I told you in the previous slide, in a way that you show knowledge, skills, attitudes, and experience. මේ හතර ඔයාගේ හොඳයි කියලා පෙන්නන උදාහරණ එන විදිහට CV එකේ sections structure කරන්න. You have to structure the sections in a way that you show your knowledge, skills, attitude, and experience. Within the first page, you should indicate all the information needed to make a decision whether you are going to be selected for the interview or not. Most of the second pages, no one read. So therefore, don't bother too much. If you wish to impress a little bit, you can put some blah, blah, blah. If you have special achievements, it must be in the first page. Okay, that's very important. Your academic qualification, your professional qualification and experience, special achievements. Within that, you have to prove that you are worth calling for an interview. Remember, the HR people are reading your CV only 15 to 30 seconds. නවකතා පොත් බලන්න වගේ CV බලන්න වෙලා නැහැනේ. ඒ හින්දා CV එක දිහා කම්පියුටර් එකේ CV එක ඕපන් කරාඳ පළවෙනි බැල්මෙන්ම මේ CV එක මෙතනින් එහාට බලනවද නැද්ද කියලා තීරණය කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ පේලි 3-4ක් කියවනවා. ඊට පස්සේ පිටුවේ පහළ කෑල්ල පොඩ්ඩක් බලනවා. මෙතනින්ම කියන්න පුළුවන් මේ හානා හිය පානාණ්ඩ හැරෙන් පෙනේ. Right? You can see the signs by looking at the CV, whether this person is suitable to be taken in or not. The way that you have done your font colors, font sizes, font formatting, it shows your attention to detail at work, right? And then the way that you are promoting your knowledge, skills, and attitudes will show that whether you can come and do the work. When this is proven, only you are getting a call to an interview, either call or email. Make sure that you write emails also in a proper manner. When you are sending a CV or even anything, have a proper subject line. So let's say, for example, you are applying for automobile engineering training. In the subject line, mention automobile engineering trainee application or automobile engineering trainee CV, something like that you have to mention. අනිත් එක තමයි file name එක. doc1, doc2, doc3, doc4, doc5 කියලා තියෙන desktop එකේ ගිහලා බලුවම. Give a proper file name. Why? Because maybe they liked your CV. They saved it on their hard disk to look at it later. Now imagine your name is Sandun. They remember Sandun. Windows Explorer එකට ගිහලා search කරනවා Sandun CV කියලා. එන්නේ. Hey, doc1, doc2, doc3 නම් වලින් save කරලා තියෙන්නේ. doc1.pdf. Within job එක lost. Save your CV with the right name. CV-Sandun Pereira. Does it cost you money? It doesn't. Even when you are doing some work day-to-day life, even when you are sending an email, send properly with those information. When you are sending attachment, make sure your file is having the correct name. Make sure that you have a proper subject line and the middle part of the email or the body of the email. Appropriate salutation. Dear sir, madam. This is with reference to the job advertisement posted on topjobs.lk for the post of trainee automobile engineer. I am extremely interested about applying for this job, as I believe your company is one of the best in the country in the field of automobile engineering. Please find my CV attached and don't hesitate to contact me for any further information. Thank you. Sincerely, your name. And at the bottom, mention your phone number. මේ ටික කරන්න බෑනේ අපේ ගොඩක් අයට. I am filtering CVs, you know. There are some situations I am getting 200 CVs. 95% මේ චූටි දේ කරලා නැහැ. CV එකේ file name එක හරියට දාලා නැහැ. Subject line එක හරියට දාලා නැහැ. ඇතුලේ email body එක දාලා. It takes only 5 minutes. Right? This is why people are just on the roads looking for jobs. How can we give jobs if people are behaving like this? Okay, fine. Now there are a lot of blah blah blah, but here you can see a bad example of a CV. Font. Comic Sans dala comic dial එකක් වෙන්න එපා. Comic කට්ටිය ඕනේ නැනේ work කරන්න. ඒගොල්ලෝ හොඳයි joke කරන්න. Use professional fonts. Arial, Times New Roman, Tahoma, Helvetica. Those are the fonts, right? Don't unnecessarily spend spaces for your address and blah blah blah. Address එක ලියන්න එක line එකයි උඩරිම දෙකයි. හරි? Address, phone number, both should come in one email line. Maximum. I don't actually need your addresses. Phone number and telephone should be going in one line. Okay. Date of birth, nationality, male or female, marital status, ඕනේ නැහැ මොකෝ මේක මේ මංගල යෝජනාවකට යවන එකක් නෙවෙයිනේ. Don't put that. මෙන්න මේ හැල්ල is also nobody cares. අපි හරි ආසාවෙන් හැල්ල ලිව්වට ඔය හැල්ල බලන්නේ නැහැ. Okay. Don't waste your time unnecessarily writing හැල්ල. Write one line about you. එක line එකෙන් කියන්න බලන්න තමන් ගැන. That people will read. Okay. So aspiring engineering professional with a passion on automobile technology. ඔන්න ඔය line එක ගහන්න ඕක කියවන්න. හැල්ල නම් කියවන්නේ නැත. හැල්ල කියවන්න මොකෝ Facebook එකේ හැලි ලියන්නෙක් නෙවෙයිනේ වා නේද? Facebook එකේ හැලි ලියන්න ලියලා like ගන්න පුළුවන්, share ගන්න පුළුවන්. Okay. Right. Here, these things I don't have to tell you guys are graduates, no. These are like very usual common sense mistakes, right? So ignore those things. But when you're going into the formatting, please make sure your formatting is right. Okay. Take a screenshot of this one. Okay, I think you can access the video later, so you can read through the screen. And this also read later. Photo. If you wish, you can put a photo. Otherwise, you can avoid putting a photo. Both okay. If you are putting a photo, please put a good photo. Selfie එකක් කරන් නිකන් දාන්නේව එපා. Bathroom එකේ ගිහිල්ලා hotel එකකට ගිය වෙලාවක bathroom එකේ selfie ගහපුවා දාන්න එපා. Studio එකකට යන්න රුපියල් 350යි 400යි මෙන්න මේ වගේ ලස්සන ෆොටෝ එකක් ගහ ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක ඔයාලට තියාගන්න පුළුවන් අවුරුදු 3-4ක්ම එක එක වැඩවලට. Okay. අද මේ presentation එක පටන් ගද්දිත් මගේ ෆොටෝ එකක් තිබ්බේ. ඒකත් මම මේ සෙන්කර් එකට ගිහිල්ලා ගත්ත රුපියල් 400ක් වුණ ෆොටෝ එකක් ගහ ගන්න. But it's worth it. You can use continuously for various purposes, right? ඒ වගේ හොඳ ෆොටෝ එකක් දාන්න. මේ තියෙන mistakes, common mistakes කරන්න එපා. පුළුවන් නම් LinkedIn profile එකකුත් create කරන්න. ඒකට අවශ්‍ය appropriate අවම අත්‍යවශ්‍ය information ටික ලස්සනට දාලා spelling grammar mistake තියෙන්න බෑ. දැන් කාලේ කිසි කෙනෙක්ට අයිතියක් නැහැ. කම්පියුටර් එක පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් ඉන්ටර්නෙට් පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම්. තමන් ලියන document එක spelling grammar mistake තියෙන්න ඔබට අයිතියක් නැත. You don't have a right to have spelling and grammar mistakes regardless of your family's never spoken a word of English. Because there is something called Grammarly. Grammarly basic version is enough. Paid version එක ඕනෙත් නෑ. Grammarly again you have to check thoroughly and read it manually also. And double check, because spell checkers are missing certain mistakes. Make sure 100% you don't have spelling and grammar mistakes, right? So those are the things related to getting your CV right in order to get an interview opportunity. Okay. Now I came to a significant milestone. The next part is, after getting your CV right, getting a proper interview, right? I think now let us move on to your questions rather than doing interview related ones, because getting a right CV will ensure that you get an interview. If you have time, just let me know. I will do a separate session on the interview. Yeah. So for the moment, up to the CV is enough. Jump this hurdle. After that, let's talk about the other things. Yeah. Right. So now let's go into the questions coming in the chat. Milan, what will the best step after graduation? Now, Milan, you can tell me, after listening to my 1.5 of speech, don't you see that you can do it yourself? දැන් මං ඔයා මගෙන් මේ අහපු ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ දැන් ඔයාටම හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් තැනට මං ඔයාව ගෙනල්ලා කියලා වට හිතෙනවද? මොකද හිතන්නේ මිලන්? Now you are somewhat there now. Okay. So no one can decide what's the best for you after graduation. You have to carry out a thorough research. According to my presentation, you are going to prepare your journey, your future, and you are going to very specifically write about what is your next 2 years going to look like. Then what you have to do is, you have to do a thorough research on all the job advertisement websites about what are the available jobs and careers. In addition to that, there are several other research websites also. Use those as needed. Somehow you have to carry out a research to find what are the jobs available and what are you supposed to do in order to get those jobs. Eka karama, the answer to your question will come. Okay, fine. So other questions, can you please start sending? At least tell me, what do you think about the program? Did you learn anything, or was it worth it? 2 hours on a Monday morning? Did you find anything that you can use? Can you please put it in the chat box?
I think everybody is trying to reply.
Okay. They are typing the answers or what?
No, they didn't, but I think definitely
can-
we got a
You
an
can turn off
answer.
the mic. Like
Okay,
you
so
can allow them to turn on the microphone.
sure.
If they want to speak, I'm more than welcome.
I think you can ask any questions from him, either in Sinhala also, right?
Yes.
Yes, if you want to talk in Sinhala, that's also fine. And also for the Tamil students, I think there's one translator as well. So if you are not comfortable with English, you can talk in any language. And also one thing, what about any website that you can find the job opportunities?
You're asking from me, right?
Yeah.
I think basically all the main job advertisement websites you have to start with. Okay. Now, one, all the job websites, right? And secondly, newspapers also, some of the new companies, they are still advertising on newspaper also, right? And internationally, there are websites such as monster.com, seek.com.au, right? Then, like, I can remember LinkedIn. Well, practically, LinkedIn has a lot of job opportunities advertised. So, therefore, it's very important to maintain a very strong LinkedIn profile as well, right? So, all these things are learnable. Yeah. So, therefore, although I don't say one by one, if anyone who has the motivation, right, and only that first slide I used for 1 hour, okay, you have that and the rest is sorted. Okay, so this is what you want to adopt. I'm going to put it back on the screen again. If you have this, the rest can be resolved, right? So let's see, there's another, is there another question? Okay, CS2019, thank you, you are welcome. Okay, fine. So wrapping up, since you don't have the questions right now, my final message is how to make a great CV, how to face an interview most effectively. Everything is easily learnable on internet, right? But it will be a little more interesting if I stand up and speak with you. So I hope that helped you, right? In that way, it is adding some value. Another thing is, always develop a very good network. Talk to other people who are having a higher position than you, trying to do some volunteer work, try to contribute with them. You have Rotaract, Leo, Isaac, and all these associations which are giving you opportunity to talk to and work with other people outside the university. It will make a huge difference, right? It will develop your skills, and in the meantime it will develop a network. That means you know other people, you have connections, right? So that in the future it becomes extremely important, right? So amount of connections you have, it will decide the success or the mediocrity of your career, right? You can go for a mediocre career with minimal number of connections, but to get a exemplary career, to have the opportunities that not everyone is having, you need a great network, right? So do some great networking, focus on the things that you see on this slide, never quit, always work harder in order to achieve your dreams, right? You can do that, you have the sufficient intelligence. Unfortunately, the issue is a lot of our younger people, they are stuck in a certain place where someone has put into their minds, you are smaller than you are still children, you are still university lamai, campus lamai, right? That stupid mentality has come, and in the meantime, other you already have brains, right? You already know people who became successful, and you know certain things that they avoided. Okay, obviously university students are consuming alcohol, but if you become too much of an alcoholic, you cannot do anything in life. So stop that. Smoking, stop it, right? other things. I'm not mentioning specifically. Unfortunately, from university lecturers, I got to know even things worse than alcohol and cigarette. Some students have got to. Don't do that because you have brains. Can't you see? You have to be having the ability to see that, right? So maintain yourself in the right direction, and you can achieve those things. Okay. So you can always reach me out. I'm on LinkedIn, right? So I highly encourage you also to set up your own LinkedIn profile, right? Send me an invitation there. My email address is here. You can take a screenshot. If you ever send an email, please mention you are from in the subject line. Mention Faculty of Technology, University of Kelaniya, so that I know where the email is coming from. And please subscribe my YouTube channel if you plan to start a business. This YouTube channel is extremely valuable. අර වීඩියෝ එකක් බලලා සති දෙකෙන් කෝටි පහක් හොයනවා වගේ gimmick නෑ මෙතන. There is a proper methodology, proven methodology used by all the large companies in the world. You can learn from this YouTube channel, right? Then what about the job opportunities in the abroad after the degree without experience? There is no guarantee of jobs without experience, but still don't avoid trying. I mean, keep trying, right? Sometimes countries like Australia, they give initial visa only because of you have the degree. If you can get it, go and do it. If you have a problem related to verification of your results, like let's say for example, your degree is still not verified by the Washington Accord or something like that, ඒක බාධකයක් කරගන්න එපා, right? Because you can go and do another alternative qualification until your university is accredited, right? So you can just do a 3 months 4 months NVQ qualification. Samahara vita initially you might have to start your career little lesser than a graduate job, but still this will open the door. මොකද complete වෙලා graduate වෙලා එන තව කෙනෙක් එනකොට you are already inside, right? So therefore, international jobs, obviously they are available on international websites. Search through them and keep on applying, right? There are ample resources on internet also about how to prepare for an international job opportunity. Search on those things and start applying those as well. Right. So I think we did a fair bit as a good introduction. Thank you very much, Dr. Shakila, for inviting me. I really enjoyed speaking to you, although I could not hear from you all. Let's see, one day I can hear from you all as well one day. I wish all of you all the very best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, I am. You are.
Okay. And thank you so much, sir. On behalf of ETSA, I would like to extend my warmest gratitude to Mr. Sam Karan Lagodel for taking the time to share his valuable insight and experience with us during this workshop. Your guidance on career paths and job search strategies will no doubt be of great help as we navigate the challenging world of work. And we are grateful for the energy, enthusiasm, and the dedication that you brought to the workshop, and for your willingness to engage with each and every one of us and answer our questions with patience and kindness. Your dedication to helping undergraduates like us achieve our career aspiration is truly admirable. And we are grateful for the opportunity to have learned from you. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Shakila Padrana, Senior Lecturer of the Faculty of Computing and Technology, for providing support and guidance for our success in this workshop. At the same time, I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Kasum Fernando, the Senior Treasurer of our ETSA, Engineering and Technology Student Association of University of Kelaniya, and the Executive Board of ETSA. In addition to that, I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to the entire organizing committee behind the successful delivery of this workshop. And thank you again for our resource person, sir, the organizing committee, and all those who contributed to the success of the workshop. With this, we bring this workshop to a close and wish everyone a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you.